I know you did. We have a doctor that is from Long Beach, California, and I'm telling you, this guy's got more stories. I was with him last night, and I mean, his stories of the way that he works in his practice and the way that he takes care of people in his practice are just unbelievable. They're off the chart. And the sports figures that he works with, especially boxers, are just even more amazing. But without stealing any more of his thunder, let's bring him on stage right now, Dr. Lucas from Long Beach, California. Come on out, doctor.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
He's coming. He's flying in right now. Here he comes. He got off the plane.
Everybody was nice, the party was pumping.
All right.
And everybody
How you guys feeling today? All right, all right. Now I want everybody to stand up, because you know what? We're about energy out here. One of the major qualities of this water is energy. You guys understand that? So what I want you to do is turn to the person on the side this way and just give them a little massage that way. Wake them up. There you go. There you go. Oh, yeah. Got a little girl-on-girl action over here. I'm worried about that, but we're gonna keep going. There you go. And then we're going to go back this way. All right. There you go. He's loving himself over there. That's good. All right, awesome. Everybody give yourself a round of applause. Great job. Great job. Well, my name is Dr. Lucas. I'm a chiropractor. And what I want you guys to realize is pain is not a lifestyle. A lot of times people are suffering. And what I want you to know is that you need to find a physician, a doctor, a chiropractor, somebody that can help you with your issues. Because the answers are out there, and we're sharing a lot of those answers, but you need to find somebody who has a philosophy and a belief that they can help you. Does that make sense? That's true. Clap that up. Because a lot of times you go to a doctor and he goes, I don't know what it is. I don't know what to do. And you guys keep going and keep taking the drugs. And you have to do something different. And I'm the type of doctor who goes, there has to be a way. And that's the way I believe, and that's the way I practice. And you need to find somebody who has that same type of passion so they're able to help you with whatever you guys have, all right? So, this is what I believe in. And there's other chiropractors here, and you got a chance to talk with Dr. Michael. I'll listen to him, a great guy. But what we believe in, the power that made the body is the power that heals the body, all right? For chiropractic, we believe in something called ADIO, which is above, down, inside out, which God is above, and he heals your body from the inside out. So when I saw this, I said, you know what? This water is amazing. You drink this stuff, and it heals you. And you're not supposed to say heals. I understand that. But it sure does help. All right. So what is a chiropractor? What do I work with? I work with the joints. I work with the nervous system. And what I look for is I look at alignments. I look at your body being balanced on either side. So if you look at your head, if your head's twisted to the side this way, I'm looking for maybe muscles tightness or inflammation or something of that nature. Because reality of it is most of us get beat up in life. Does that make sense? When you think about kids under the age of 5, they're pushing, they're pulling, they're hitting each other, they're falling off slides. And most of the things that you see, they are never going to tell you about. The reason being because they want to continue to play. Does that make sense? And as they continue to play, ouch, don't tell mom, okay. And then they go play again. And before you know it, they have years of issues that they've dealt with. And now you're going to your doctor or your chiropractor or whatever, and you go, I didn't know anything happened. Well, sometimes things happen in the birth canal when they're being born. Sometimes things happen as a child. Sometimes there's car accidents. And all these things affect how you look. So what I look for, like I said before, I'm looking for muscle imbalance. When you take a picture of somebody or you see something, you may have noticed that you favor one leg. Maybe you stand on this side. Or maybe you'll see somebody and they maybe favor one leg or walk with a limp. These are all the things that I look for. And aside from that, I got to get some water up here. Sorry about that. Give me a second. This stuff is good. It never goes out of style. I love it. And you're looking for your postural differences. which means if one shoulder is up high and one shoulder is down low, what that means over a period of time is one's going to be weak and one's going to be strong. Does that make sense to you? This is your brain. Your brain controls every system that you have in your body, and it's controlled through the nervous system, okay? And that nervous system communicates to the rest of your body. And as that happens, if you can imagine a water hose, and when you step on that water hose, water no longer goes to that water hose. Well, the same thing happens with your nervous system. When you step on it or you have a pinched nerve, the information is not getting from point A to point B, which significantly affects how you function. So if these nerves are going to your organs, to your kidneys, to all these things, if it's not functioning at 100%, then it's functioning less than that. And that's what we call dis-ease. Does that make sense? So the longer the problem, the worse the dis-ease. What we've been taught in this class and what we've been learning, the body's searching for ease. It's searching to be a place called what we call homeostasis, where your body's functioning at the level in which it's supposed to be, so your body could do everything that it needs to do. When I go through an adjustment, what I'm looking for is your brain, like I said, controls everything, but down your spine, what you're going to have is your spinal cord. And these things are like switches, okay? And as you go down all these little switches, as you see, right, I don't have a pointer, but if you look on the side here, if you touch your back, you have spinal processes. And all these things will shift from right to left when you're walking, but sometimes every once in a while they'll get stuck. And when they get stuck, it's like the power is off for a moment. And when that power is off, you're not communicating from the brain to the end organ. I'm going to tie it all in. What we're talking about here, it was talking about muscle imbalance and dysfunction. So as a chiropractor, I'm looking at something before it even is a problem, okay? So I'm saying, okay, if you're walking like this, or if you can imagine, you're on the beach, and you got a pair of shoes on, and as you're walking, you got a little bitty pebble in your shoe, all right? First couple steps, not a problem. By the third step, you turn this foot to the side, you're probably going to rip the shoe off, because that pebble is digging in your foot, and now it's affecting not only your ankle, it's affecting your hip, it's affecting your low back, because everything is shifting to keep you out of pain, okay? The logical explanation is to remove the stone. But most people don't even know that there's a problem there, so what ends up happening is you continue to live with that pain, and it gets worse. Now you got muscle inflammation, you're moving from one side to the other, and things start to cause degeneration prematurely, okay? And that's kind of like where I'm going with this, because everybody's heard of something called arthritis. Now this is an example first of a muscle, of a dysfunction. What you're talking about is your head may be slightly to the side, and as that happens, you have occipital nerves that come from your brain that communicate to the rest of your body, and once they're pinched, they're not functioning. And I call that the headache nerve. That's the suboccipital. That one, if that one's off, you're going to have headaches on a consistent basis. It may not be chemical, but it's muscle, and that muscle continues to press on that nerve, you're going to have a problem, okay? This is another example. This is your glute medius and your glute maximus. The reason we're talking about these is because if you throw a baseball with your right hand, if you're right-handed, it's going to be nice and fluent, right? Throw the same baseball with the left hand, you throw it like a girl. Well, you know, not the girls in here, but you know the girls I'm talking about. Which means the muscles are firing wrong. In order for me to throw this baseball, everything has to go off at the right time. This one, everything's going off at the wrong time, which means I can throw the ball, but I can't generate as much force. Well, the same thing happens when you're injured. When you're injured, guess what? Instead of you throwing the baseball with all the force, if you got a bicep or a tendon or something that's off, you're going to throw it a different way to try to get the same force, but the muscles and the way your body's made is not going to allow you to do that. And over a period of time, it's going to cause more injury, okay? So when I'm talking to athletes and I'm talking to people, what injuries mean for the athlete means time. It means that you're unable to do what you need to do in order for you to make a living. Does that make sense? So time is going to be very, very important, because if I tell you, hey, you have a swollen ankle, you have to take, 3 weeks off, that guy's not going to be able to make a living, which means I'm not going to be very effective, which means I'm not going to be able to do what I do. With the water, let me show you. It's a little different. But before we get there, look at this. This is arthritis, okay? What is arthritis? Arthritis is inflammation of the joint, okay? So inflammation of the joint is called from what? Acid. Okay? So when you're eating all these acidic foods, when you're building all this uric acid up in your body, you're starting to get muscle tightness and cramping. That's uric acid and an acid that's building up in your joints. And what is that stuff? It causes you to degenerate faster because all your joints are made out of synovial fluid, which is water. And if your joints are made out of water, what are most people drinking? Gatorade, soda, Powerade, sports drinks. So what's happening? You're drinking all of these things, and most athletes, as you know, if they're professional, they're going to be at a place by the age of 30 that they're not able to function anymore. Does that make sense to you? Because I work with fighters, and I don't know if you know this or not, but fighters, you know, they get punched in the face pretty often. They get punched in the head pretty often. And as that happens, it affects the way that they're able to function. And the joint, because it's inflamed, starts to lose its function, starts to lose your range of motion. And this is a really good example of it because what you see here, you see a healthy joint first, and then what you're going to see here is that the inflammation around that joint that builds up. And what you're putting in your body, not you guys, of course, the Kangen water drinkers, but people that are drinking, let's say, the coffees, the teas, the bottled waters, everything else that is liquid that is going into your body that is not alkaline or does not have a negative charge is contributing to that arthritis. And the reason being because this stuff is going to store in your joints. And the more unhealthy you are, the poorer the circulation, the longer it stays there and the longer it's going to erode. And the longer it erodes, the faster your body degenerates. Does that make sense? So this is my fighter. This is Abner Mares. He's the one throwing the punch. Okay? And you can imagine the trauma and what's happening to this guy's neck right here. He's getting hit, and I will tell you, every single fighter that Abner has fought since I've been with him, the fighters that he's fought have not fought since. He's retiring fighters because he's hitting them so hard. Yeah, he's knocking them out. This is an example of it. This is my favorite picture. It's like, I knocked you out, and I'm just going to walk away. But his energy, when we're in these fights, he is the only fighter that I'm aware of that actually drinks water as you're in a fight. Most fighters are drinking it and spitting it out. So if you can imagine you functioning, you're sweating. What are you losing? Water. As you continuously lose this water, what's happening to your brain? It's not functioning as fast because your brain is 80% water. It's made out of electricity. So as you lose more and more and more water, what happens? Your hand-eye coordination slows down, your endurance goes down, your speed, everything starts to slow down a little bit. So by giving him this water on a consistent basis, every round is like round one. And most people don't last 6 rounds. That's just what it is. It's different. And that's what we're trying to express because it's absolutely phenomenal. This is something that has energy inside of it, and it has the most power of anything that I know of. And we get excited about that, and people start talking about it because, well, what about this, and what about that, and what about this? Like I said yesterday, this is brand new to us, to the U.S. It's 10 years. Take all the good and use the good. The other stuff is going to make its way out. I have not found, and I've been drinking this water for 5 years, and I've been giving it to my patients for 5 years. I have not seen any adverse side effects in every single patient that I've had. Now, I've had people who've gotten sick, but when I look on the side effects of their medications that they were taking, the side effects say, hey, muscle crampings, this, that, and the other. And that's what I would have you guys look at more so than you actually look at the water, because the water is water. It's going to do what it does. But if you start looking at the side effects of maybe all this other foods that you're taking in, a lot of times people are taking in all kinds of processed foods. And when you're taking these processed foods, they have side effects, whether you know it or not. What God put on here is the stuff that comes from the earth. What man put on here is what we made up. And you guys have to be maybe a better judge of character of looking at what we're putting into our bodies on a consistent basis, because our body is a machine, and it functions very, very well. This is Abner Mares. It's a tough sport. And what I look at is that when his face gets beat up, he can't be walking around like that. Know why? Because he's the champ. And the champs, we got to look good all the time. This is him after a fight in Mexico. And this is, I think, this first belt. He has 3 belts. This is me working on him. As a chiropractor, what I do is I'm always aligning his joints. So after every workout, after every fight, after every sparring session, everything's a little bit off. And by aligning his spine, he's able to function and feel a whole lot better and get back to the ease part and stay away from the dis-ease, which means he's able to go 100% a whole lot faster. This is Yayo Thompson. He has a fight coming up also. And what I would also ask you guys to do is support these guys, because these guys are absolutely advertising Kangen water in their camp. They're walking around with the jugs, and it's impressive when you have a world champion. I'm not talking about somebody like we have Elvis. Elvis is a medalist, you know? Amazing. Clap that up, yeah. And I say that because the people that are on this water, it's durable. The people that are on this water are the top-notch people. They're the people that are doing it and telling you how it's going to be done. And as we start this big tidal wave, you have to realize that you were on the front of the tidal wave. If you guys were like 5 years later, you would be on the back of the tidal wave, and everybody would be in, and all the answers would be in. But right now, we're in the very beginning, okay? We are the pioneers. It's a huge difference. This is also Abner. I'm working on him at his gym and just getting everything right where it needs to be. This is an important picture. This is the fight after, this is the one at Staples Center, and he fought Morano. And you can see the swelling in his face. And what I said to him, I said, listen, champ, we're going to take you back to the room. We're going to lay you down. I got a towel of 11.5. I put that towel around his face, kind of like a horseshoe shape. And I put a little bottle, not a bottle, but a little bowl of water there. And I told him just to, you know, change it out every so often. Well, he left the whole towel on his face, and I'm going to show you, this is what he looked like 48 hours later. Okay? So what I'm telling you is this. I do a lot of speeches at junior colleges and stuff like that because the closest thing for inflammation we have is ice, you know? And if you don't know, that is so, you know, 1980s. It just does not have to be that way. When you're talking about this type of inflammation with ankles, with muscle pain and stuff like that, you can just take a cloth wherever you have swelling and plop it right down on there, leave it there for a little bit, and you'll be surprised how much of that swelling it will be reduced. I mean, I'm blown away by it. I try to talk to people, but you got to catch people when they're ready. And not everybody's ready for a change, okay? This is his next fight that's going to be coming up. His next fight is coming up in Carson. It's going to be a nice size fight if you're in California. Come on out, support us, bring your Kangen water bottles, and let's go ahead and do it because he's going to win this fight like he's won every other fight because he is undefeated, and I'm excited about it. And this guy right here, he has a heart of gold. We were at the Staples Center a while back for, I believe it was Mayweather Canelo weigh-ins. And this guy, he went through and he signed everybody's autograph. And I thought that was just so humbling because he didn't have to do that. And that just shows you the type of guy he is. You know, he'll take the time because he started from here like everybody else, and he's now reaching his peak. And we're at the same level. We're reaching our peak. We're going to a different place. And we need to have respect for each other as we do this, okay? This is Abner. He's a 3-time champion now, so this is 2 of the belts that he has. And he's going to be fighting, like I said, in real soon in Carson. This is Yayo Thompson. Yayo Thompson, he's also a Mexican fighter, but he actually fights in Cancun. So I fly back and forth with him, and I do the same type of things with him that I do with Abner. This is going to be his first title fight. But again, this is happening in Mexico. In Mexico, boxing is #1, okay? It's hard to believe. It's actually bigger than soccer. And what I look at is the impact that I'm going to be able to have over there with this water alone and also adding chiropractic. It almost makes it unfair. A lot of times when you get a fighter or you get an athlete, and anybody who's ever worked on an athlete knows that they have injuries. And athletes never want to tell you they have injuries, you know, because they're ready to go. You ask a football player if he's hurt, no, coach, put me in. Ask a basketball player, you hurt? No, coach, put me in. Ask a fighter if they're hurt, no, coach, put me in. They ask me, are you hurt? Yeah, can you fix it? It's quite a bit different because you would have to understand that every athlete that goes out and plays, even golf, you might pull a muscle in your back, but if you want to play, you're going to continuously play and you're going to play injured. What I'm saying to you is that is not an option. You don't have to do that. It's a choice. If you want to be Iron Man, you can do that. But in this day and age, a lot of the things, especially in sports or degenerative diseases, it just does not have to be that way. And I would implore that you guys do the research or talk to the people around here to get your health back together. Because what I know is your body regenerates every 12 months. You have a brand new body, brand new cells, everything. So if you're eating ho-hos this year, okay, then you're going to have a body like you're eating ho-hos, right? Next year, you're drinking water. Guess what? You're going to make a transformation. Your cells are going to be different. Everything is going to start to change. As you start to work out, what happens? You start to develop new muscle. That's your body changing. And by the time it's all said and done, next year, you're a brand new person. Your thoughts are different. If you guys realize how much better the clarity of thought since drinking this water, has anybody noticed that? I mean, I feel like a genius. That's just the way I feel. And I feel like I'm around the smartest people in the world. That's how I feel, and that's what I believe. And that's how we got to move. This is Yale Thompson and a bunch of the guys. And this whole business, you guys, it's all about relationships. That's all it's about. It's about meeting people, talking to people, getting to know them, and figuring out how you can help them. You do that, and you'll win. You'll be the most successful. What I know is the people that give out the most, that love the hardest, make the most money. That's what I know. Absolutely. If you talk to the top people, know what they're going to say? They're not going to give you a hug. They're going to they're not going to shake your hand. They're going to give you a hug because they love you. I mean, it's just that simple. This business is about giving something free away to help the people, help your neighbor. It doesn't get any better than that. This is Yale Thompson. As you can see, he's the one holding the guy's fist to his face saying, "Hit me." That's the type of guy he is. He's a real tough guy, and he has the fight that's going to be coming up in Mexico. This is Yale Thompson, and I have to talk about Roger Valdivia. Roger Valdivia, when I went 5A, which was some time ago, this is the person that introduced me to all of the fighters, most of the athletes that I know. And what I tell you is, when you look at them or when I met them, I didn't know that. Do you understand? But the relationship and how we talked and how we communicated, and it just became a friendship. And he said, "You know what? I may have a couple of fighters over here. You might be able to help." And trust me when I say I didn't know any of the fighters because I don't watch boxing that way. But as you start to talk to people and you share and you love people and you put them in a better place, they want to see you do well too. And those are the type of relationships that last, and that's how you build your business. Because if you're my friend, guess what? I want to help you. And if I'm your friend, it should be the same way. And if I have something that I can help you with, that's the way that the business works. That's the way that life works. You play it forward. This is a bunch of the guys and myself also working out, and they tease me because all the fighters are in their 20s, and I'm 40 years old. And when I'm running, they go, "Come on, Doc, you going to keep up?" And, I have an ego a little bit. So when I'm with these guys, I'm going to push it. And they're like, "Wow, he's doing it." And if I'm doing it, guess what they say? I got to push harder. I got to push harder. And what I would tell everybody in here, be great. Be great at what you do. And if you're going to take out the trash, skip. Be great at what you do. There's nothing in mediocrity. When you get on stage, let everybody know who you are. When you're talking to people, be confident about what you do. You have to do that. You have to. You got to do it. You guys have more information that you receive today than most doctors in the United States on alkaline water. You realize that? You really do. I'm telling you. And the people that don't get it are going to question. The people that get it are going to give it to those people and find the people that want it, because this whole thing is about timing. If you were to ask me to do this 2 years ago, I would have been like, "I'm not ready. I can't speak on stage. I'm scared. I don't know what to talk about." But as you continue to talk to people, and as you continue to hand out this water, it builds confidence. The first time you do it and it happens, I remember the first time I gave my mom the water. Bobby came over to my office. He did a presentation. I bought a machine. The next day, my mom comes to the office and she goes, babe, I used to have arthritis in my toe because I broke it. And she's in the lobby of my office and she's telling people the success or her testimony about her baby toe and how it feels better after 24 hours of drinking the water. Yeah. It makes me feel real authentic, right? So I'm like, Mom, I go off. Mom, you can't be telling people that drinking this water is going to help you with your toe, you know? You can't do that. And I got really upset with her. I said, this is a chiropractic office. You know, people don't believe in chiropractic already. And here you go telling people, I'm telling you the truth. You're telling people that you're drinking this magic water and now your toes feeling better. That's what it is, you know? I had to apologize to my mother. Do you understand? Because she knew, and most of you guys already know. You already know what it does. What I need you to do is act like you know. Okay? If you act like you know, we will be such a big force, and this stuff is going to spread so fast, it will be absolutely phenomenal. But you have to be great when you do it. You can't be, you want some water? You got to go, hey, man, listen, I got something that makes me feel good. He goes, what is that? You don't want it. You don't want it. You don't need none of that stuff. Well, what is it? What is it? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Get it? It's different. If you push it on people, if you chase people, they run. Don't chase people. It's not the chasing business. You have the golden egg. I just need you to act like it. When you act like you got the golden egg, and I do this with my team, I kind of cover my hand up this way, and I kind of look in here, and I look in here a couple times, and they start looking, and they go, what is in your hand? And I go, it's the miracle of life right here. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's right here. This is what I believe, and this is what I have for you. It's everything. But you have to believe that it's here for you. Some of you guys, it's your time. Some of you guys, it's going to hit you guys when you leave. But it's you. It's up to you. Work hard in silence. Let the success make the noise. This is what everybody has to do. Everybody. When you see all the people on stage, the only difference between them and you is they work harder than you do. You don't think they do. Give you an example. This guy right here. This is Jason. Jason says to me, before I leave here, it took him about 6 months of drinking the water. He bought a Sunnus when they were available, and he tells me, he goes, you know what, Doc, this looks good, it sounds good, but I don't know yet. I said, all right, man, drink some water, we'll talk later. Drink some water, he comes back to me. He says, I need the bottles. I got like 3 or 4 cells, and I'm ready to go. He says, this is my before picture. I said, well, let me get a picture of your little Scion right there, because this is your before. This is what you're driving now. What's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 to 9 months is going to be up to you. But all these bottles, they're worth $17.10. Did you know what that means? You got it? Every bottle is worth $17.10. Be aware of who you give $17.10 to. Some people are going to squander it. You have to give the water to people, or you have to give seeds to people that are going to grow the seeds. You can give something to a little boy, and he's not ready for it. I saved little Matchbox cars for my son. I did it when I was 13. My son is 9 now, and I go, these are the cars. And I saved them all up, mint condition. I gave the cars to him too early. You know what he did? I'm going, no! It's the same thing. You need to find people that are ready now, not that are going to squander your time and your efforts. There's people that will take what you have, embrace what you have, hold and carry it, and do amazing things with it. But you have to be to a point or at a place where you recognize their talent and see where they are. Anybody could do this business. You could train anybody to give out water. It doesn't take it doesn't take a degree, doesn't take a whole lot of anything. But the mindset is going to be something that is very important. And your mindset is going to be very important because you're going to lead the people based off of you. People want to follow you. You have to dare to be great. And you have to be great today in order to benefit tomorrow, if that makes sense. You need to be in the present right now. You need to be alive right now. You need to be appreciative right now. If you don't have anything to be appreciative of, I always start like this. I go, you know what? I start with my two hands, and I go, you know what? I can wiggle these bad boys. Some people don't have no hands. It's the truth. I can wiggle my toes. Some people don't have no toes, you know. I can wiggle these skinny legs. I got them. They mine. But it starts at a place of gratitude. And from that place, you're able to develop energy. And from that energy, you're able to love other people. And the people that love the most people or the most selfless help the most people. And that's what this is about. Last thing, this thing is about making new friends, building new relationships, figuring out why other people would want to do this business. These are my new best friends. And I mean that with all my heart. It only takes a minute. When you're in the right place, you can connect with somebody almost instantaneously. Whether it be in an elevator or walking by, it's a shield of energy that you have that you're able to see right away from somebody. The information, you guys, is already here. It's already here. You have to figure out how you want to give it to and who you want to give it to. Because if you're not being successful, I can almost guarantee that you're giving it to the wrong person. And you're probably looking for them to do more with it than you're willing to do. Does that make sense? I'm ready to fight for this thing. I'm ready to go for this thing. I went to Japan and I met a whole lot of amazing people. And all these people went from, and my goal had to increase because when I went, I saw this guy who was like a 6'A", 148, right? And I'm going, 148? I'm thinking like 6'2" was good, you know? But when you get to that event, to Japan, all you see are the superstars. And the superstars, they don't have excuses. See, everybody here, if you're not getting what you want, you have something that's holding you back. Something that's saying, I'm about to do it, or in a minute, or this is more important. Until you focus, make your goals, and decide to make this thing amazing, you're going to stay right where you are. Because everybody wants to hear it from you. I'm sharing this with you because what happened with me was I kept saying, you know what? I'm going to get this chiropractor in. I'm going to get this trainer in. I'm going to get this person in. And they're going to make me all this money. And realize, in my head, I go, you know what? I'm the engine that makes this thing go. You're the engine that makes this thing go. When you go, people go. When I walk fast. Why? Because if you want to keep up with me, you better move. You know, if you're waiting like, you want to come? How about you? You want to come? You got to move. You got to move right now. Most of you guys, there's only 3 things, and I shared this, I think, in my last presentation. First thing, you got love. Love is love of self, okay? When you have love of self, you can help everybody else because it's not about your problems. It's maybe about helping somebody else out, okay? Second thing is going to be health. Health is going to be extremely important, extremely, extremely important. Because at the end of the day, if you can't move, if you can't do the things that you want to do, there's a problem, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're sick, it just does not matter. And the last thing is wealth. Wealth gives you decisions. It allows you to do the things that you're able to do. There's a combination. Everybody in this room at one point is missing 1, 2, or 3 of them. If you're missing all 3, it's a problem. I know, I've been there before. It's a challenge. Everything, you know, the cloud is over your head, you're kicking the rock, nothing's really working out your way. You have to find your strength. You have to find your power to push past. Because everybody that has done great things has done it in spite of. You know what I mean? One of my favorite movies is Rocky. And in the movie Rocky, it wasn't like everything went exactly according to plan. It was this problem, then that problem, then this problem, then that problem. Depending on where you watch the movie, it could be a depressing movie. But in your life, it's the same exact thing. You guys are in your own movie. You get to decide, is it the beginning, the middle, or the end? What I suggest is get to the end as soon as possible. But be present as you go all the way through. Because there's greatness and there's things that you're going to be able to experience as you go through it. And as you go through it, you're going to gain the experience that maybe you didn't have in the past, but you had to go through this little thing in order to help somebody else who's going through that same thing right now. Does that make sense? You guys, I owe so much to this company. I owe so much because I prayed for this. And I think most of the people in here, in order for you to get here, you have to pray for it. Because when you really realize what you have to realize that this company, out of everybody in the United States, you guys are here. That's it. You guys. In Florida. Yeah, clap it up. Because you guys have spent time, energy, and money to get here. And I pray and I hope that you ask the people around here to get what you... Thank you.
You know, I've always told people when this good business goes from your head to your heart, you become bulletproof. And if that presentation didn't bring this business to your heart, I don't know what will. You agree? Well, thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.